Carrie, you're all good.
Just want my face right there.
I tried to.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just have it for the people who can't come, so whatever I need to do to make it happen. Okay, I am going to call the meeting to order at 7:08. Are we all in agreement? Yes. Okay. Real quick, we do not have Megan, we do not have Mary Ann Susie, so bear with me. We do not have administration tonight. None of them could make it. I made sure I even emailed them this time around. We had no one last month. And we will have Mr. Benson next month, I've been assured. So, presentation of February minutes, they are at the back, or the bottom of that packet. It's tonight's agenda, treasurer's report, and then last meeting's minutes. You guys want to go through? I'm looking for a motion.
My glasses are all at home. So I can't read it. You can't read it.
Derek will share.
What?
I tried, they don't work.
No.
No, she did. You know she did. You supposed to.
Oh, just enlarge it.
Set the camera on.
That's even questionable. Look at her.
Oh, no, I can do it.
Oh,
yeah.
that's what I wrote.
Mr. Harris has offered me his glasses one time.
Did you say this
He's like,
last time?
can you borrow these?
Yeah, mine
Yeah,
are-
because
mine
you
are
do
pretty
make the
good.
classic face when you can't see.
Old, getting old looks like people. Getting old.
Holding things like with your mouth
Has
open.
anyone made a motion?
No, I'm looking for a
Yeah, you're right.
motion.
I make a motion to accept the minutes for February 10th meeting.
Okay, second, well, you're seconding? Okay, and, hold on. No. This is not gonna be fun tonight. Okay, and Laurel seconded? And then, do I have any discussion? No? All in favor? Ayes, carried, passed. Okay. On to finance.
Okay. I'll make this short. We started out last month with a whole bunch of money. We ended with last month with still a lot of money.
Don't say that too loud. Like to be the next group of something.
Honestly, the biggest expense was logo wear, and that was really an expense. So, and then the tiger assembly was the only real expense. Everything else was profit generating. So.
Do we have any big outstanding, anything coming up, anything we should have note about other than teacher grants this month?
Well, I mean, I just wrote a few checks for Avalanche and whatnot, so that was probably $1,000 worth of checks, reimbursements and whatnot, but otherwise, don't think so. We wrote a check for the 5th grade. The 4th grade?
Could be 50, was it Susa again?
Yeah,
That's 4th.
oh, that is 4th.
She is a 4th grade teacher with a shop
I'm
visit.
still waiting for the documentation from her.
Okay,
She did get her check, so.
okay. Yes, the
Where
4th
is
grade
the-
has really used their money.
I just don't see, of course, because it's my thing, I panic about it, but I gave it to you. I don't see the deposit from the dance.
That's because it went in lunch.
Okay.
It's because it's in my wallet.
All right.
No, I
So
get
that would be a
it.
bad practice.
Let's not say those things.
On the record, I'm embezzling.
Well, you have fun when you get audited. That's all I have to say when you say things like that.
No, it
Off the
Jen,
record, you're not.
it went in, it's a March.
Some money, but now, I
March
mean, the
deposit.
detail officer is like $300 and big no concessions at all, so I
It's
didn't
rather a lot of money.
scratch. Usually we're like working off the phase. but it still was.
It was a lot of money, but as you saw, she just gave you a bunch of stuff, so we'll have to see how it goes
Yeah.
out.
It was still
Well,
in
no,
the green though.
most of your checks were, I mean, one of them was old, and then the one I wrote wasn't that large. I mean, we're definitely
That dance
positive
made some
on
money, yeah.
dance,
But we also don't have the bill yet from the detail officer, which is like is it 280? No. 230? 230 or
Still gonna be
something.
ahead.
No, it'll still be ahead for sure.
Honestly, as long as it breaks even on that,
Yeah.
the kids love that event, so.
Yeah. It was a good
Any
deal.
other questions on finance? Okay, so we're gonna move on to officers' reports. That is what I have, couple things, so we moved kindergarten readiness night because it conflicted with the school board meeting that was just this Tuesday. Figured we were looking at the same population, so we needed to move it, not knowing that we moved it to the Kiwanis dinner night. Batting 1,000 with this event this year, I'm really struggling. So now I have to go back to the drawing poll. So at this point, we've already put it out there twice on a date. So if we were to do anything, we would have to cancel it, I feel, because I don't think we could move the date for a third time. I just don't think that's,
Well,
or a
now's
second
the
time.
time that parents are looking.
Right,
for
it has to
census.
be
It
in
has to,
April,
yeah,
and we're running out of
It's enrollment
dates.
time for census.
So I need to check in with the teachers, because the teachers tend to want to go to that and support their fellow teachers, which is again why we moved it, because the teachers wanted to be at the school board meeting, which I don't blame them. I wanted to be at the school board meeting, a lot of parents wanted to be at that meeting. So I feel like, what a flop, and I feel really, like personally, really, really bad. I'm just doing what I could do for dates. We weren't allowed to hold it in a school because we were working with the private preschools. So I had to go with what the library had, and the library books out just like the schools do now. We don't have any other meeting spots for these things. So I tried to pick a Tuesday that wasn't a school board night, not even thinking that's when the Kiwanis was
Came in after.
gonna do their dinner. So that is where I'm at. Does anyone have any strong feelings either way? I don't wanna make a decision and then get heckled
Well, I know
either
the
way.
kindergarten staff here is, the loyalty is at the Kiwanis night to support their colleagues and community families that are, so I don't know if we'd even be able to attend this.
Yeah, which,
And I know you really wanted us there.
yeah, makes sense to have the staff there for this.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
So knowing that, I don't know what that does.
I don't know either. Let me sleep on it. If no one has any other ways, this way or that way, I also want to make sure that I get why, right? Totally get why. I went to the Kiwanis last year to support you, and to support Mrs. Collins, and it was a great night. I'm hoping that some people will go and support Mrs. Ox and Mrs. Landers, as we know her. I haven't gotten, when I saw the name at first, I couldn't figure it out.
And they put it on Collie, so that's
She's,
helpful.
Mrs. Landers has been a huge supporter of the PTA up at the middle school. We've already partnered with her a number of times. Really like Maria. So but I don't want the PTA to look bad to these preschools and to the community for keep canceling this event. You know what I mean? So if anybody has any ideas, I'm welcome to them, because I just
If you
feel.
were to reschedule the date, how far back would it get pushed?
It would really whatever the library
What
has
they
for
have open.
availability. I would
Yeah.
want to keep it in April, because if you look at the community social media pages right now, everyone's asking, I'm on a wait list for Underhill, where do I go, what do I do? And that was the point of this. It wasn't just, I wanted to talk up the kindergarten talk so that we're all on the same page, so that people had the information for full day kindergarten and what they were doing or not doing. But my other thing was, I knew, being a parent who sat in the lottery for this preschool, myself luckily got in both times, that we have limited space here, and I really know that the kindergarten teachers struggle with the kids that had no, not struggle, but there's a disadvantage if they hadn't been in a program before kindergarten, right? Preschool has a lot to offer, and finding the right one that offers good quality isn't necessarily easy, because a lot of them get stuck in daycares and what not to talk bad about any program, but letting parents have that choice, because that's one of the things they said at the night with school, coffee with the school board, is they wanted a list. They wanted the school district to provide them a list of places that did midday transportation, that offered preschool if they didn't have a spot here. So I thought if we brought everybody into one room and had, you know, killed a couple of birds with one stone, it'd be a really cool and successful night. But it doesn't make any sense to do it without the staff because of
Well, you wouldn't want to
legitimacy.
leave
That's-
our own program out of a night like that.
Nah, right, and we've been advertising that our staff would be there to be able to discuss about these topics. So I can go back to the library and see what they have for availability in April. There might be some, I'm not saying that there isn't. Because as we know, there's not enough full-day kindergarten spots anyway, so some people are gonna need wraparound programs. So it might be a good place to discuss it. And I'm just trying to make sure that we don't have egg on our face because I've had to move it, which was not my intention, but I didn't know any of these things were gonna keep happening. It's one of those things when you plan far out. So that is that. We have the 19th coming up. It's looking really cool. I'm really excited. I've been working with Mrs. Landsman and Mrs. Tremblay on the night. We have a lot of really cool things planned. We have the storyteller coming in. We're working with Scouts. Kiwanis hit me up and they were looking for things to do. So we've kicked around a couple of ideas, but the one that's definitely is a go. They gave us $300 to purchase books for the night, to hand out books for the kids. So I spent $314 and I came up with almost 100 books for some different age groups. So hopefully that is enough. I don't know. We haven't ran this event for a really long time. I figured we'll take down names and classroom teachers if we don't have enough books and we'll figure it out from there. But I'm hoping that gets us a good spot. And I tried to go with fairy tales or classic books because that was the whole point of the night.
Yep, I can do that.
Fifth grade talent show was canceled due to only 6 acts. I have a meeting with Mr. H on Wednesday. One of the things I'm going to talk to him about is obviously we need a teacher discussion talk with all the admins. But one of the other things is I'd like to still do the 5th grade talent show. It was my brainchild. I brought it in 3-4 years ago. I thought it was shocked we didn't have one for them. B, I thought it got them ready for coffee house at the middle school to get exposed to an experience like that. So I'm gonna see if maybe we can do it in the spring during the day. I think if they don't need to compete with the after-school activity and they can do it in front of the whole school, maybe participation would go up. And I know that we have Mrs. Githmark to help us. She always helps me with it. And I know years ago she used to run one in school and it got too much or whatever. I don't know what the whole story was. But then it went away and I brought it back. So I'm hoping. We will see. Grant committees. Teachers have been notified about the 500. So grants might take a little longer to get out, though right now I don't think I have any over the 5, and they are getting them all signed before they come to me anyway, so. I think that's gonna work well. Logo, where I heard from Brian this morning, he's trying to get me a markup for the hook sit, the generic hook sit. He was gonna put it on a white t-shirt, and I said, well, and he was asking my opinion, and I said, well, if you think that will look good, but I go, I also want a sweatshirt too. I want it on a t-shirt and a sweatshirt. I don't think we need like the sweatpants and all of that, but I think the sweatshirt, t-shirt's worth it. So I'm hoping tomorrow we'll have a
I
markup.
think a vest would probably, and a hoodie would probably, or a shirt would probably be good. I think people will buy this. The vests are pricey, so nobody wants to buy a vest unless they are working at one of those schools.
Yeah, we only
A lot of
typically
people-
do the vest for the staff. It's
Well, no,
like a
we have
staff
the
day.
option now. We have staff or not staff now. And
Okay.
you can get it with or without because it's on there, Brian's fine with it. So I'm wondering if we had a generic hooks and wonderful, who would buy the vest and or hoodies.
But I'm asking for a sweatshirt, a hoodie, and a t-shirt with the Homestead logo on it, and start
Because you can
there.
always do it next time too.
Yeah.
Just thinking for next time we should, see.
I'm hesitant with the vest. I know the staff really like the vest, and I'm glad to get, I have no problem with the vest for the staff. They take forever to come in, and I always feel ridiculous because we get the spirit wear, and it takes like an extra 4 weeks sometimes before we see any of that stuff. And I liked having something that was just special for the staff that the general public didn't have. At least that was the feedback I was getting from some staff, that it was like cool to have something that's, but
I
whatever.
always take it off, I don't have horse in the race.
Do we have anybody who's ordered so far?
This.
This time?
I haven't looked.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen orders coming in, but
Yeah,
I'd love to see what they are.
we'll just pay attention this time around and see what happens, I guess.
But I'll make sure to tell everybody that the vest will be delayed.
Yeah, because I want to say we didn't see him until January with the last order.
Yeah, I remember bringing them in schools, it took a while.
Yeah, and that's,
And everyone
that,
was very patient, but.
they are really good about it. I have to say, I haven't gotten a complaint.
But it would be better to be on top of it, for sure.
And I think on their receipt to people is to check their product right away. I had somebody that didn't check until she was wrapping at Christmas, and then something was wonky with it. And I was like, I'll just take it back and we'll but I can't, because they're all custom orders, like I'll personally take care of it for you, because I knew this person. I was like, I'll pay for it, like whatever, like I felt bad, and I'll get it to you in the spring order, but in the meantime, they've used it, they've pinned it, they've whatever, because I wanted to see it, to see what I missed while I was packaging them, so that I can look better to try to catch them before they make it to the customer, if that makes sense.
I can put a note on the cart that basically spells that out. This is all custom. It is not, we don't have boxes of these things. Every
I think
item
we
is
need to
custom.
do a better job at that, because every year every drive I get a few, and I don't mind fixing a few. If they're patient, they wait till the next drive comes around.
Yep.
And I guess I just need to get better at checking.
No, I'll
The
put,
product,
I'll put
as
a
I
note
got
on there,
them?
and then,
And then it wasn't size, it was something was wanky with like the elastic band or something.
Just bad product.
So, yeah,
no, I can put something in there, and that way we'll understand what's going on, why it's taking so long, and why they can't just change their mind, because we don't have boxes to swap it with.
yeah. And then we've looked at that, we've looked at using, for the newer people, using like the high schools do, those commercial companies out there that just do that. You just go to the website, you just do it. But we felt like we liked supporting a local business, because we do somebody right here in town. We liked the fact that we thought some of the quality might be a little bit better, like we could see it, we could touch it, there was stuff to that. There's somebody on the community page that's jazzed about helping us with logo wear next year. So that's awesome. They were disappointed we didn't have girl,
I saw that.
and I was like, well, come on and help us out, because it's one of my many hats I'm wearing right now, so I
I
don't.
saw that and I was like, well, I get it, but it's going on sale in 3 days, and there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, it's just more we have to do on our end to create the store, to have more options and more,
On the plus side, it's very easy to do all that.
Yeah.
And whether I'm on the board or not next year, I will continue to support the website.
That's what we are hoping.
Oh, 100%, yes. I would
Perfect.
recommend that.
You've now told us all out loud on camera.
On camera, no, the website, I mean, it's up and going now, mostly inertia, so I have no problem with that.
So that's going till the 16th. Grants are going on the 23rd. Anyone's welcome to join us. And the only other thing is teacher or staff appreciation week. We are in the planning process. Anybody else wants to jump in and help with that? I have notes on the drive where we've started. I'm not sure we got very far because one of our main people is sick at the moment. So we've got to see where we got to circle back up and get things moving again. And then, I don't even know if this is on here, and I apologize, I've been wearing a couple hats lately. We talked about this last meeting briefly, but I had an idea. I've been trying to think of how to get more people here, not necessarily here, but on board. You are not aware, every major position is up for next year, and we are a skeleton. We have Derek staying on for website. Natalie is in the middle of her term, so she is on. Stacy is still birthday book person, right?
Megan's still on for historian.
Yeah, and Megan's still on for historian. She's midterm. But all the, not that anybody's role
The
is
big
small or big or little, huh?
The big three.
The key three, you can't have a nonprofit without the key three. So we don't have president, we don't have a treasurer, we don't have a secretary, fundraiser
Vice
coordinator,
President.
but I don't have vice president. And it would be a lot cooler and a lot saner looking if you had some of those people so that you remember to put things in your own agenda. So one of the things I was thinking about is making an event on Facebook, like a Facebook Live, put a date out there and get a bunch of us together and do it at a house because we can't do it at school because we're not allowed, Facebook Live won't work here because of the firewalls, and just have a conversation night. Like people can come, like pin us with questions, like we could just talk, because I think reading sometimes something can be really overwhelming or dry or doesn't, I don't know, project what it really is like. But if you get a couple of us in a room and we start talking about what we do and why we came to PTA, kind of that whole video thing we tried doing last year of why I joined PTA, why PTA is for me, and like what does your job really entail?
And you know, doing it
Maybe
in
it'd be
somebody's
cool.
house, doing it in somebody's house with like a camera and whatnot, will make it look more fun than this.
Derek, what are you saying about my PTA?
I'm not saying it's not fun, but what I'm saying is that this.
If you wanna
doesn't
sell
look-
it, we gotta do something.
Does this look fun on camera? Does this look like a good time on camera?
No.
It doesn't. I mean, that's all I'm saying, is a bunch of people sitting around like a living room or something, with like drinks or whatever, it looks more fun. So,
So, let me know if you are interested, because that will help me pick the date to do it. I want to do it with who's willing to come and do it.
I
So,
know for a fact there's a woman in my neighborhood, she couldn't come to this meeting because she is like 5 minutes away from doing work, but very much wants to, on the board.
yeah, that's awesome. So, and I think that will help some people who have, you know, roadblocks of getting to these meetings per se, that we can get, and some people that might be a little intimidated for whatever reason to come to our really fun meetings.
I'm talking about how
That's good
they're looking.
food, we'll just
It's
add that
just an
quality.
appearance thing, like people sitting around the living room with a beverage, looks good, looks fun on camera.
Non-alcoholic beverage, but yes.
Whatever,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying, like, whereas a bunch of people sitting in the teacher's lounge, not as fun looking.
Okay, so that's one idea. So if we like it, I'd love to move forward with it. If anybody else has any ideas or is willing to do a brainstorming session with me on how do we recruit and keep this going. Doesn't need to look like it looked this year or last year, but I'd like to see it keep going. And we're kind of at that critical stage that if we don't know, elections are not, they're May, they're not June. June, the board switches over, so, and we have to give we try to give a good month's notice to our elections. So next month is kind of, do we have a PTA or don't we have a PTA?
I think we gotta go hard on social media. I think this is what we need, this is what the position entails.
Are we willing to pay for money on an ad in like neighborhood news?
I don't care, it's not my thing.
Yes, it is. It's in your pocket, you said so.
Oh, no, you can't have that. The money I've taken already, not for ads. Yeah.
I would vote yes on that.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
Just because
Either way, we still
How
need
much?
to know what we're saying and how we're
Because your
gonna say it.
PTA, how much could it be?
How much?
I don't know, I just ran one for another reason, and Adam wouldn't tell me how much it was, because he was pretty sure I wasn't gonna be happy about it. So
All right,
I
so should I
don't,
ask Adam?
Adam wouldn't
Adam, how much is an ad?
he just walked by too, we could ask
Chasing
him.
them.
He's in the parking lot, if he hasn't already left. So that's the way to get it colored. The only thing we could do for free is what you see me doing, which are the blurbs, which are very text heavy, little to no pictures, or a picture like, for Internet Awesome, I must have sent her 4 really good pictures. Not that you and Megan weren't really good, but
You know,
like
my name was misspelled, I'm so mad about that.
that's my fault, so I apologize.
Because
You
we've
can't
known
get
each
an
other for such a
article?
short amount of time.
Did I type it wrong? Maybe
You
it
never
was.
know. You probably said it right, and she had, you know, their idea in their head how to spell things.
I don't know, I apologize, because you have to type it all up, you have to caption all the pictures, and they did, I sent her like 4 caption pictures of like us presenting, the people there, like, and you never know what they're gonna go with, they pick that one. Where if you do an ad, we go with Mark Shanahan, like we call him up, we send it to him. It's, I wanna say a couple $100, like especially if you wanna go big.
Yeah, because I looked into it for the colorathon, an ad versus trying to beg them for an article on it.
Yeah.
And, for a decent size ad that would stand out was $400 or $500. Yeah.
Is it usually or cheaper?
Yeah, and it's
It's not
once.
like it's like
Yeah, and it's
once a
once.
month or
Yeah.
once a week per month?
Yeah.
Twice a month.
And you have to pay attention to when the cutoffs are, because like I hit mine, I had like 20 more minutes or I would have completely missed it. Mine was time
Now,
sensitive.
Can the administrators do like a blast out there?
So
Bright
we've
Arrows?
talked with the
And Mr. Lowe said he
principals.
was gonna put it, his
Yeah.
principals
Yeah, because
report.
Bright Arrow hits everybody.
And I will, like I said, I'm actually meeting with our superintendent tomorrow at 2 about how are we doing a check-in, can we get maybe some more community engagement? Love to see him out again at something. I'm meeting with Steve on Wednesday. So, and I can write up something to the principals since they didn't come tonight, asking them to put some stuff out in their reports.
If you want.
Ask them if they like all the stuff we do for them. We
Yeah,
love it because we need more people if you want it next year.
Because as a parent, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of why I want to stay in Hooksett.
Exactly.
That would terrify me to know if it wasn't,
Right.
but you don't want to be negative either
No,
or
exactly.
scary,
Well, I
but.
mean, I
No,
feel like
that-
we
it-
have
it
been, like,
shows
we've
you
been
the
like telling
real
them for a
That's how
year
I
or
do
two, but.
no, it shows
Narrow
you
down
that
the
it's a
wire.
real thing.
It is.
So-
And we've been talking about it,
And
and it's gonna happen, but now it's like, okay, we're 2 months
So if you
from
wanna-
something
And it might be
happening.
worth a good section of our mid-month
Yeah.
press, this is what we do, just a reminder. And we are a month or so away from, I hate to do that, that's
It
not,
sounds like a threat,
Right.
but it's not.
it's
I don't
not,
think it's a threat.
it's a
I think
reality.
like, look, these people have been
It's your
doing this,
reality.
like,
Yeah.
The children are gonna be the ones that
Right.
are gonna lose out, that's why you're here.
I will
Parents
stay
also
and
programs
mentor, like I'm not gonna go away, if they don't want mentorship, that's fine too, but if they need somebody to know what's been happening, and Kathy lives across the street from me, like, it's not like I,
And Kathy said she would do that as well.
yeah,
She said she'd be a consultant.
yeah. I think we are more than willing to do that. I still constantly see the old board on a regular basis at things, because, we all swim in the same circles. But I think it's time for fresh, well, like, I'm trying to order books for the 19th, and I don't even know what attendance is gonna be like, because our attendance for our events are all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's time for new ideas, new eyes, maybe a new field, maybe it's us, who knows? I don't claim to have all the answers, maybe we've made it too intimidating, I don't know. Trying to stay positive. It's not like, but if we don't have some emails coming in or some people showing up for April, we need to have, what are we doing with our funds, where are they going, what's going on type of conversation.
I think knowing more about what's being asked, because I think that's the hardest thing is you have no idea. So, well, I know it's probably a lot, so I'm just not even gonna you know,
You don't know
so.
what you don't know.
Because you don't know what you don't know, and then it's like, I have a million things that are going on, so I'm not even going to even look into it. So having the information to say, oh, it's not that bad, or, you know, or that, oh, that sounds great, that kind of thing. So having that, whether it's in person or a combination with the ad, I think would be a good way to.
The lives does seem like a good way to do it though, because like you said, then people don't have to show up for something. They can type in questions to us.
Which
While
gives
we're
them
sitting
that
there.
safety, like, anonymity. And
Right.
let's face it, you get a flyer at home, and then for us to tell you what we do and what, it's gonna be lengthy. You're
Right.
gonna go, what is this? And start, and then the kid's gonna be jumping up and down. Okay, what do you, and then do you ever pick it back up again to get to the third sentence?
No, like,
Yeah,
find
4
it
weeks
ever
later,
again.
when you're cleaning up the pile of stuff in the corner.
We all have one of those piles
Yeah,
at the
that's no man that I
buffet.
was supposed to do.
Yeah, and at that point, it's like, so, throwing out some ideas, obviously you can hit me up on Facebook, email, wherever, text. I'm open to suggestions. I don't think anything's not worth a try at this point.
Do we have a decent camera for this?
I was gonna use a cell phone because it's live.
Okay.
I was gonna get a cell phone tripod, so somebody's arms aren't necessarily getting tired or start
I've got
shaking.
a tripod. at
Do
home.
you?
Yeah.
One of
and
those-
a stop motion.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I got a kid that would be a cameraman for us.
Yeah.
He actually has a nice camera too, but we couldn't broadcast it.
I've got a good webcam too, that'd be good. Either way. Doesn't really- Like, but I have a tripod, so we can use that.
I'm joking with Sam, he'd be bored after 5 minutes.
I like
I'm
the
sorry.
phone idea, hand it around to people,
He likes
it
to
makes
think.
it like fun, you know what I mean, like selfies and, you know, handing it to someone and they're talking and then you're giving it to somebody else, it makes it a little bit interactive on top of a tripod thing, but I think a tripod thing then becomes kind of like this again, only more fun
Well,
with
yeah,
kids,
it's
apparently.
I mean, we ought to be, I'm just thinking we want to be careful with that because it can make people nauseous.
Well, yes, I would like to think that you would walk away from the computer if that was happening.
Jill, do you need a vote to do the ad?
Um,
I think that's a great idea.
I feel like we can't make a decision until we actually know how much it
Yeah.
costs.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
I thought you said it was like $400.
That was a guess.
Oh.
Still a guess, we don't have any definitives.
well, it's,
Depending on the
it
size, it's
depends
all
on the
different,
size,
yeah.
but
I remember even talking to him going, yeah,
So like something like, we need you, and then,
so I can create one, show it to you guys, yay or nay, and then you tell me it works as quarter page, which is not necessarily quarter page in my opinion once I saw it.
business card,
business card.
Half page, yeah,
pretty much.
half page, full page. Full page is gonna be really expensive. I think we're gonna want a third to a half page to get attention,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Color really isn't an issue because the neighborhood news is a full color, like they do full color pictures. So it's just making it,
Is there just a library would be willing to put it up there?
I'm sure we could get them to do
That gets a
it.
lot of eyes.
I might be able to, yeah. Okay. Oh, and one last thing before I, last month, we were so good, this month we're not going to be, is, I'm gonna need a couple people for high school scholarships. Those all went out in February, they're due April 30th, so we'll do them in May. Mary Ann helped last year. I know we have one, it's been sitting in our mailbox here, I've been just leaving it because it's sealed and I know it's there and it's safe and won't get lost. So it's there, I know we have one.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah,
Do you know
so,
who it's from?
no, so
That's
I,
perfect.
so if you see teacher grants or scholarships in mailboxes, I tend to leave them until the last minute because otherwise they get carried around with me and I don't want to lose any. That's like my biggest fear in life is
When is that,
losing
Jill,
something.
in May?
We'll do it sometime in May, because the deadline is April 30th, so I think we tend to do it in the midst of staff appreciation nonsense, just get it done with. Let people know, so they know in time for their awards nights.
Yes.
I think that is all I have. Oh, the Facebook Live thing was in there. See, I didn't lose my mind. No VP, Kate's not here, but we are doing her presentation. It got put in the press. I need to do a better job putting it out there. So that's on my list. And making the mother-son event as an event.
Yep.
on Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
thought
what I
about
was
it
supposed to do.
3 times, and every time I go to
I
sit
had
down
it open
there.
and then I completely forgot,
Yeah.
because I wanted to put the link for the Sign Up Genius all through
Yeah.
there and start plugging
So
it
if
too.
you wanna create one
I
on
can do
there,
that.
go for it, because I've sat down to do it 3 times, and either an email or text has come through and totally
Yeah,
distracted
I
me
started
from
doing
getting
it,
done.
but it wasn't out on the website yet, so I didn't want to put anything out until that was done.
Exactly, and then
And then
once
I
it
forgot.
did, it
And then it was,
life came back and it got crazy. Yeah, Marianne's asking about logo work. He doesn't seem to need anything from us. It was just getting him to respond. Because I didn't hit the magic 5 a.m. window that he does his email at. And he said he lost my email. It got put in a different folder as of this morning. So we went back and forth a couple of times. And hopefully tomorrow I'll have something to give to Derek. Because he's got to do us the mock-up. He's the one that creates the images for us to use.
I'll bug him in the morning because I'm going to pick up the t-shirts.
Megan is ill, so that's Laurel.
Arts Remember, they are all done except for one of Mrs. Boucher's classes, but that's gonna be done on Friday, so the Arts Remember lady said send it all in on Friday.
Actually, Wednesday, Thursday will be done.
Okay, so,
Friday will be in your hands.
yeah, they'll be completely done on Friday, which is, I think, the first. That we should have them all in within a few days of the due date. Yeah, so then we'll get those back, the personalized order forms, and then continue on with that. I forget what was the other thing I wrote down. Chip in. Okay, so this seems like a no-brainer. I don't know. They're offering us lower credit card processing fees. Plus, we're gonna do a kickoff event at the Tap House. I don't know if anybody saw the thing that somebody on our Facebook page was talking about that happened at the Auburn Tavern, where so much money went towards their fundraiser of choice, or their school of choice, or their nonprofit of choice.
Are
That's
we
what
doing
it
it in
was.
time to recruit some new people?
Yeah.
What about,
Because it's in April, we could use that as a recruitment night too.
We definitely could, and we're doing, it's happening at the Tap House. And so a portion of every check, right? Portion of every check.
Festivity.
That's
That
right.
certainly looks more fun. Yeah, money brings.
So I guess the way it works is part of the discount you get on the credit card fees, the businesses that sign up get the lower credit card fees as well. And so part of what they save goes to you, and part goes to them. And
I'm confused, what is it? Is it like a credit card
It's an
it's
processing?
an app. You download the
Kind
app.
of like Amazon Smile. And
Yeah,
we
it's
get a
very similar to
percentage
that.
of what people are
Gotcha.
spending at
So they're paying their
places
bill
where.
through the app instead of,
No, they just, you download the app and you say, oh, this is I can't say, nonprofit. This is the
Correct.
nonprofit that I want. That's starred. And anytime you use the credit card that's associated with that app on anywhere in town that participates, that money goes towards whoever your starred nonprofit is.
So we
Tap
have-
House is one, Back Room is one. I know they went to Johnny's because Johnny's showed up at Memorial asking Memorial all about it because I got an email and I said, yes, and I said, talk to Laurel if you need more information than that.
Yeah, I mean, we have a plan to hit a bunch of places in town, HK Motorsports, the Vet, Agway, like, because it doesn't have to be just a restaurant. It
what
can
like
be
Shaw's,
any-
the grocery stores, movie theater.
Can try.
Trickier because
That's
it's
not,
national.
people
Yeah.
go to every week.
Yeah, I mean, it's national, but
I know.
we're looking, I mean, it's usually local, but Tap House has already said that they will do our kickoff event sometime in April. We just have to pick a date, which sounds difficult.
But Tucker's.
She's talked to them, she knows them, and she is,
They do a hell of a business.
I guess they like who currently processes their stuff, if I remember correctly, because we talked about it with a bunch of different companies, so I might have them wrong, but I know she definitely has talked to Tucker's, and she is trying very hard to get into Tucker's.
Sounds like she's calling me sometime.
And she emailed me today. But,
I give her another.
yeah, yeah, so it seems like we really, except for doing a kickoff here and there, no, we don't have to do anything else. And we make money.
So this is something where individuals have to install this app on their phone?
So we just send home the information and say, oops, please do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the kickoff is for. The kickoff, they sit there right with you, You get a whole big thing full of information on what you can, how to do it. Oh, and we can also set up they give us a bunch of templates for web pages too if we need to use them, if we want to use them.
Yeah, we can certainly add it to the website.
And just making the amount we pay for things less.
Yeah, I mean, if they're a full-on credit card processor, I can look, depending on the cost and whether or not it would be cheaper, because there are still some costs associated with Shopify, but it's a plug-in architecture, I can probably swap it out and use that instead. So that makes sense to money.
Yeah, we're gonna get like a little packet once we're all fully signed up, all the stuff.
And I'll ask which, what,
Yeah, she'll be able to put it there. But yeah, it seemed like a no-brainer. And maybe that's the money we could use to do the sensory thing here. Because I think we'll definitely make more of that with that than our turnover.
Try to plug for Art to Remember though too.
Thing is though, then we're really pushing it as a fundraiser, and I don't think people look at it as a fundraiser, and I don't like mixing the two.
I agree with that, actually.
But why do we do it then? Like,
We do it because people
Because
ask us to
people
do
love
it,
it.
people like it.
People like it, they like having their kids art, but they're not, that's why they're buying it, they're not buying it because
They're supporting
it's fun,
us.
yeah.
Because we don't make enough money on it, I mean, the percentage is terrible. But the parents like it, so we do it for the parents. But I feel like if we actually want to do something that's gonna make us the amount of money we need to do the sensory thing, the chipping makes way more sense.
The fundraisers that would make us the most money seem to be the ones that involve the community.
And we
The
can
more
start right out saying
dances
that.
and events
This money is
and
gonna go towards
the color run,
this.
that's
yeah,
what makes
that,
it
well,
fun.
that's what, I'm trying to find something that we're really transparent about, like, this is where this money is gonna go.
Yeah, and I think that since it's a new thing, that would all tie in very nicely.
Okay. That goes to membership, which is back to me, 505, that's where we're sitting. Seems to be, I don't think anything new has come through that I'm aware of. Okay, reflections. Marion put a bunch of stuff in there, do you have anything else to add?
Can I look and see what she wrote? 'Cause I haven't seen it. Oh, I put that in there.
Okay, you put that in there. Anything else to say?
I think so. I'm
Okay.
helping at the state exhibit on
Perfect.
Wednesday, so.
Because I can't, so that's perfect. So it's about night.
Yeah, 4
And
to 5
Richmond.
entries, that's pretty good.
So the community harness, it looks like it's already full, which is great, because it just went out last week. Were we able to email the people that were on the wait list from last time?
So I didn't have their email. If you notice, there's
Okay.
one that turned
Yeah.
in their slip.
Yes, so one
So I
maybe.
am not going to fill that spot. Like,
Okay.
anything else that comes in, I'm gonna hold for a
Okay.
few bit. Like, that's why I didn't give you guys the, like, release
Yeah.
the list until today, because I was waiting. Nothing came in today. So
Okay.
all of that was Thursday, Friday.
Perfect.
I am waiting, and I'm not gonna really advertise because there's like one spot
Yeah.
left. In case any of those, because I wrote down the names, but I didn't write down the emails, so that was my bad. But one did come back, because
Yeah.
I need their paperwork information anyways and their money.
Yeah,
So, we will, if they come in, they can have that spot type of
Okay.
deal. It's my-
For the expo night at the library, how, do I just call the library and just see if they're available?
Are we doing it at the library this
That's
time?
what she was hoping for.
Then yes, we need to.
Um,
You could go right online and do it.
oh, okay.
And I'll tell you if the room's available or not.
So because she
Do a
shortened it,
meeting room request, go in there.
meeting room.
Room request, I wanna say that's what it's called.
Because her expo night technically isn't on the 9th week, it's on the 8th. I'm gone on that Friday, I'm in Florida, so if anybody's available to help.
What was that, the 8th or
The
something?
15th.
The 15th, yeah, I've got something too.
Of what?
May. May 15th. Yeah, it was supposed to be end the week after, but then she wanted to shorten it.
During the
And I
Teacher
said,
appreciation week, it's the Friday.
It would be at night. Last time it was at 6:30. It was like 6:30.
It was at 6:30 because we were here.
Yeah,
And she had to wait for new mornings to get out, and she had to
Yeah.
decorate. It's cute, there's like 12 kids, and she
Yeah, it's
displays
really
their
just the
artwork, they put on a
families.
dance. It's not very large, nobody really comes except the participants,
Yeah,
but it
which
would,
we went over that. She was, the first session, she was really hoping for a community event to bring everybody in. It was just the families of the kids in that group, which was great, that's
which
all.
was great. And we did advertise it as a community event, and it just didn't take off.
Yeah. She really is looking for some kind of funding. She understands not for this year, but she wants to continue running the clubs next year at Memorial. And was really looking for some kind of funding, so I didn't know how
Kids
to
making a difference, $200.
approach it.
We give her money, everything so it's $15 per kid, and that helps fund her event, she just wants more. Which is more
She's
than kids
looking
making
for-
a difference,
so,
kids making
what
a
I've
difference
asked
was 10.
for her is to kind of write out a list of what she's spending to what she's doing, to just see. She said that she was spent about 200 more than what she received. So for me, I want to see kind of a breakdown of what it is. I know out of the cost, she's looking just for like the supplies, the glue sticks, the paper, the crayons, and that would be the same stuff that then gets carried over from each club.
If she spent that money, then why didn't she request for it?
Well, she gets 12 kids times 15.
Oh, I thought she.
So that's the money that she
Right.
gets.
So.
And she knew that too.
She, from what it sounds like, she spent more than that, but she doesn't know exactly how much, because she never put all the receipts together to know. So, I told her that she would have to do that, just to have something to vote on or approve or something. We need to see where the money is being spent. So that's something that she's working on. But I know for approvals and all that, it has to go through the process, so for next year, if she really wants to do this club for next year, what those extra steps are.
Okay.
Mother-son, holy moly, it's less than 5 weeks. It's me and Sarah doing it. It's a little lighter than it was last year, because it's just the two of us. But it's going smooth. I think my biggest thing is just volunteers for the night of, once I get the Sign Up Genius out. It's just gonna be like probably 10 to 15 challenge games in the gym. Most of the games I'm really trying to have them self-led, where I have signs for how to play the game, and it's just having that person reset up the game. Paper airplanes in the pit, just having somebody who knows how to fold paper airplanes really well to help. I thought that would be fun.
He used to do that all the time.
It's
Yeah,
extreme
rotate
paper
everything.
airplanes, it's the whole process in the pit.
He'd be really good at that.
There's gonna be targets and they're trying to get the fastest or the farthest, so. Builders Club I know helped out a lot last year. What's the best way to reach
Karen
them?
Crane.
Karen Crane.
Carol, what you
And
want?
Gail Almond, I want to say, does it?
Yes,
Yeah, I've been tending to do all the coordination through Karen. Because Karen will reach out to
She's my
me.
assistant, I can give you her phone number if you need it.
Okay.
I was gonna say, you want her email, I have it right here.
Yeah.
Here's her email, Karen Crane, I'm gonna write it down.
I can give you the contact for NJHS too if you want.
They've been really good, and they actually show up at the event too.
And
help us.
last year they were so helpful. In the CAF, it's really, the food's self-serve, it's just gonna be a bunch of snacks, nobody has to be there. But just having somebody for like the photo booth and craft area. And then the closet, I've been trying to get over to the closet during the day.
So this is the deal, go and you have to go get the key during the
Okay.
day. Okay, go to the office, get the key,
Yep,
ask Mrs. Collins for the PTA closet key.
yep,
You can leave with it, just
Perfect.
bring it back at some point sooner
okay,
than
that
later. Because of birthday books and whatnot, there's
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah.
of us that access the closet. Then you can go, the best thing is to do is just make sure there's a lot of cars parked out back and you can go through the door by the cafeteria, because that
Or
means scouts
basketball
are
or
there
something.
or sports are there.
what's a good night?
I can tell you right now for like another week, like Tuesday. But other than that, I don't. Really, no, Tuesday or Wednesday, I want to see the lower scouts are there. Or my,
Okay.
my oldest and my mid ranks are there. And then you can go in there and no one should be in the common area.
Yeah.
Paper plates are off limits, other than
Okay.
that.
Is there everything else? I was really gonna just look for the mother-son stuff, but just like the buckets to hold the balls and the activities, things
Yeah,
like
good
that.
luck. That place is,
There's the one section called party supplies though.
Yeah.
One of the shelves says right under party supplies, and there's a box.
The only thing I would say, and then I just said that because we bought a ton for our grant night in hopes that we'd be using it for teacher, or staff appreciation week. So
Yeah,
that's
no, we
kind of
don't,
earmarked.
the only plates I need are for games, for their stacking games, but nothing for the staff arrangement, so.
But other than that, you utilize what we have in case we don't need it next year, as sad as that sounds, but I might as well use some stuff up.
And I think that's it. I don't, for the Sign Up Genius, I don't have anybody at the check-in table.
I'll be there.
Perfect. I know, I'll be kind of everywhere and enjoying the event, so trying to mix it up.
Yeah, my kids
Or
will be
just
shafted like normal.
tag along. I might bring my nephew, so at least those two can kind of play together, and I can be wherever. We'll see.
I will be there. If we're gonna take money at the door, I would like at least one other board member there to count. Cause we're by a lot, best practice is three counters, so.
Jay, what's the date, Jill?
It is the 10th
April?
of April. So I'm all for go have a great night, but I need you to come see me at the end so we can, and at the beginning, so we can count and then check out.
I asked what team she was gonna be, red or blue.
I'm gonna be purple.
That's all I have.
Okay, school coordinators, here we go, or liaisons, I really should say liaisons, liaisons.
I
Go for
actually
it.
have a question. All of my notes that are there are from last month. I didn't put those in. That's weird.
Okay,
Am
well,
I at the right paper? I'm really confused.
the first one, yeah, we're looking at the first paper.
Okay, well, those are from February.
If you didn't put anything in, it just carries
Stays,
over.
okay.
Yeah, because I don't go
Oh, I'll
to
just
erase them
update
all
it
the
then.
time.
Okay, regarding the colorathon dates, if you guys could write some of these down, I'll add them into the agenda so that they're there. The kickoff for it. Oh, sorry. The envelopes and all the materials will come to the schools around April 1st. And I need to get in touch with the 3 principals to do the kickoffs the week of the 6th. The initial deadline for donations will be May 11th. In fact, I think that might be, it still gives us 5 days for a do or die like last year, so we can do that one more push. So those are the dates with that. There's really nothing to do until the kickoff, and the kickoff is basically done by the principals. I'll probably drag Laurel and whoever else wants to go. I'm wondering if, I don't know if that would work. I'm wondering if we move the talent show to a daytime, we could do the Colorathon kickoff at the very end.
Does it really give people a lot of time to prep? Talking beginning of April, we have to make that decision and get those flyers out like ASAP.
Anyway, I was just thinking of that.
Yep, no, I'm off of
Because
just
they're already all
throwing
together
stuff
and
out
all we
there.
need
Yeah.
is like 10, 15 minutes to throw stuff at the principals. Get the kids screaming and then they leave with the packets.
So packets are coming in the 1st, they go home around the 6th, we do the kickoffs that week.
She does at the end of the day.
Kickoff's the week of the 6th.
They don't go home on the 6th though, they go home with the kids at the kickoff.
At the day, so whatever day the kickoff is in each, it's different on each school. I think we did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We gave them to the littles first, and I think we did Collie last. So that's that. Auburn is out. I finally heard back from Sandra, what is her name? the PTA president.
I don't know the PTA president.
She said her emails are down and the one for the Auburn doesn't work either. So she never saw my thing, but that they're doing little tiny fundraisers instead of a color run. Which is kind of, I mean, we were thinking of going that way anyway, but I think the thing we need to remember is that for us to get the highest percentage of the total volume that the kids sign up to run, we have to hit a minimum threshold, and I thought it was 7,500, might be 8,500. It was a good chunk. I mean, last year we had like 19,000. But with the other school, we knew we hit that threshold by like the first 2 weeks. Otherwise, it's not the end of the world. I mean, if we don't bring in very much, it's just not a very well-attended event. We still get money, but it's just a lower percentage. Obviously, I need to put out there, and I know it's tough because we need people at events like this too, but we need a significant size committee this year to push. I just physically can't do it this year. My ankle, I can't even walk. I walked door to door last spring. Every business in Hooksett, I can't do that this year. So we need, and my door to door brought in about $5,000 in runners. So that was a huge piece. It's there. The community wants to do it, but there needs to be more people helping do that.
Do you have any info on what the bigger?
Say that again?
Do you have any info on what the bigger donors were?
It's not donors, they were runners.
I mean runners, but I mean in terms of targeting?
Businesses?
Yeah.
No, they trickled in.
Okay.
2 from one, 2 from the other.
I didn't know
No,
if there was one,
no, there really wasn't. It was that we hit, 100 and some odd businesses and got a couple, 1 here, 2 there. I think, the bigger aspect I'm gonna get into more, but you have to think, what you do costs money. I hung flyers with QR codes for people to scan and register. I hung them all through Manchester, all the surrounding towns, all the local businesses. That's the kind of stuff that has to be done on top of going into the community. You have to be careful. We're right behind teacher appreciation, so I'm not asking for handouts. I don't want a dime handout from any business, but I want their employees that aren't working that Sunday, come. If you want to give us some money, give us 3 registrations for 3 runners and send some people there. We want the community involved. I know the police department wants to be more involved this year.
They paid for somebody to run?
No, the employees paid for themselves, but what I'd want to push this year is maybe more, more engagement from businesses in a way that they're encouraging even their own, what do you call that? Not fellowship, but like team building stuff, yeah.
Coles does a lot, like they always want to come in and help us, but they have to man it, which doesn't
Exactly.
help us in school because of background checks, but is that something that they would come and do the color run and then that would give us
Maybe.
volunteers?
Yeah, well, and that's the
School
other
grounds
thing.
though, isn't it?
The most of the
Huh?
volunteers, the day of the color run, were the Auburn parents.
I think you should hit up that Coles because they do a whole community partnership thing and they
Give
give
back,
you
yeah.
volunteers.
So it's all those little pieces this year that I think the potential for it to be an amazing event is there, because the people that went last year are still asking me, how soon is it coming back? I think we'll do better with Collie because this year's 6th graders were a heavily attended 5th grade class last year. Collie was low, minimal participation last year from those students. I think they were too cool for it or something. But they were regretting it the day of. They were there watching it, wishing they were doing it. So having those 5th graders roll up now to Collie, they're in, and hopefully, following years, you just get more people who've been exposed to it will be now in that school and help.
Now, are you gonna have a committee meeting to discuss all this?
I can, it's really, really hard for me. My committee meetings are like, I'll call you on the phone or I'll send you an email. Because it's not a lot of, we have to sit down and plan. The day of, even the setting it up the day of was like, I had to go the weekend before with paint, I had to rake, I had to,
But
it's a
that's
lot of
something-
just
But that's
stuff.
stuff you can delegate.
Exactly.
Have committee meetings and you can say
Exactly.
this.
The problem
You
last
can
year was
delegate
nobody
out
could
the-
go on a Saturday, they couldn't rake, they didn't have,
I mean, you
It-
can
it's
even
falling
say
into
everybody
spring
do
sports.
10 businesses. You know what I mean?
You can, but the point, I think And when we get closer, I don't wanna drag this meeting out, when you get closer to it, it's gotta be a consistent non-sales pitch. You know, I think that's where, we had a couple of people who tried last year and they just kept saying, you know, I didn't get anyone. I'm like, I don't want you to get anyone. You're not trying to sell anything or buy anything, just get people excited about it. We need more cheerleaders for it, I guess you could say, because it sells itself. And the kids were amazing with getting in the community. Yeah, the kids were going door to door signing people up, which is great because they wanted them there at the event.
Now, do we have, I have a whole
yeah,
bunch
I was
of
gonna say,
pictures
she's
that you
gonna
could
say
show
that.
at each of the school kickoffs?
From,
So when you do your kickoffs, you can show a little tiny slideshow.
Great pictures.
oh yeah, well, we did that last year.
Oh, our own kids running it?
Well, we didn't have our own kids do it yet, but this
No,
year
we
we
have
will
our own
because
kids.
I've
Want me to
got,
send you any pictures?
yeah,
Or you
any you
got-
want.
okay.
I have thousands of photos,
And
but I'll
that'd
take
be fun
any
to show
more.
them, they could
Oh,
see
yeah.
themselves and they could.
Exactly.
Plus, our conversation too, people saying, I remember that was so fun.
Can you get it running on
Exactly.
the Facebook page, a little video that she makes and you put on your Facebook page?
Anyway,
Oh, we can put it everywhere.
Yeah, so that would be fun to.
And that was the thing last year, I mean, I saturated everything. I had put down a flyer twice a week, it was on every Facebook
Yeah,
page, it
I
was
think
on
people
mine.
know how fun it is now that those.
Exactly, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm hoping, is that
It's
50% of it
Yeah, they
self-sells
expect, yeah.
itself, and then we're working on a smaller
Yeah.
percentage, but we're already looking at less volume without Auburn being there.
can we
No
get-
matter what, they
I thought
brought
they
in
wanted
120
Oh,
people.
they did bring in
Yeah.
that many.
Yep, so,
Oh, okay.
and those 120 kids had
Sure,
parents that
sure.
helped, you know,
But
so.
they
But they can be
may
invited.
still come, yeah.
Why can't we invite
They
all
may.
of our SAU? Why don't we invite Candy and Auburn?
Absolutely, I
So-
went through Candia last year, all through the school, I had
Yeah, so they
flyers.
may wanna
yeah.
come and not, the profits would have stayed to us.
Can
They're
we-
trying, they're thinking of doing their own in
My
June.
kids go to Auburn and like,
Yeah.
Yep,
they
So
were
you can
thinking
definitely
about it,
get
and
them
I
up.
thought they couldn't, and
That's
that's the only
okay.
reason why they
oh, no,
decided.
they can anyone can.
We
The
actually
problem
had
is
their
they
friends
wanna
gather
keep
that was
their funds in their own school.
I'll
That's,
help you, I'll help you district wide, let me know.
oh yeah,
What I
and
can do.
and it's easy, you
Running
gotta
around.
have people that wanna, like I said, be cheerleaders for it. I just lost my other thing. What was I going back to? So, I mean, that's it, so we still got another month or so before the kickoff even happens. And once it's going, we've got about, including school vacation, about 4 weeks. It's just a lot of hands-on stuff. We're gonna have to have a detail officer and all that stuff. That stuff is easy. It's just, even me keeping track of it since doing it last year, that part's easy. But just pushing the,
So maybe having like a
Everything
Google Doc,
numbers.
with this is what needs to be done.
oh
And
yeah,
people can like go and say, I'll do this,
Yeah,
I'll do this, and even some
absolutely.
things multiple people can do.
yep, absolutely.
love to help as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm hoping that there'll be, especially people that went. Here's the disadvantage, the more people we have helped though, and this is gonna sound really horrible, if they're helping, they feel like they're not signing up for the day either. So every person that says, oh, I'll volunteer for the day, we're not getting their $30.
Well, let's limit it.
Well, no, but I mean, I want people to
She needs
participate
manpower.
and
Yeah.
you can do this, and you can help check people in the day of, and you can help me rake out all the trails the day, the day before, and highlight everything.
One or the other.
Exactly. Well, that's always what ends up happening at the events, right? And the number of people that we need, like, I don't wanna lose
Send me what you need,
30 people.
send me what you need on the website, the newsletter and stuff too.
Yep, I will. I will.
Word out that one.
It's been slow going with Fred too, he's still getting over the surgery, so it's been hard to get in touch with him, it's been a weird getting this thing going. Middle school dance went fine, done. We just need the
What's left of the money.
thing for the, I need your money out of your pocket. Detail officer bill thing, which they usually mail to my house and I'll.
Yeah, get it to me and I'll
Yeah.
definitely write a check.
5th grade t-shirt contest is over, I'm picking them up tomorrow. I have the check to give to Brian, and I'll get those to the school on Wednesday, because they're not open tomorrow. We just need to get in touch with Steve and figure out how he's gonna announce it, but that's an in-school thing. And I think that's it. I don't have anything else I'm doing. You're next.
Sorry, yeah, you're it.
I don't know.
I don't have much. Underhill is excited about the grants. Teachers are collaborating on different ideas, and so they're putting that in. There was some questions, Jill, about the form and SEC administration.
And we've already emailed them to let them
Okay, so
know
they'll
what the
know.
standard practice is. I would say do not talk people into going together on grants because I have to keep the money smaller
Some are.
so that I can just
I'm not
get
talking
them
them into that, they're just doing
approved at
that.
the building level. The bigger, the more, like, you get a
Like
grade
grade
level
level
that does a
ideas.
whole Scholastic News, then the only way to get it approved without having to go to the school board is to break it down per classroom for the grants. Because if it hits that $500 mark,
You have
then
to.
I have to submit a formal letter to the superintendent. The superintendent has to take the formal letter to the school board, because it's not him, it's the school board, it's the school board
Right,
policy.
policy, right.
Not that I think they're gonna say no to any of this, it just takes, it's one extra step we all have to do, which it doesn't, make it easy to sell for the next
So
president.
we might wanna write
People
that
are
in
intimidated.
our guidelines though.
You know what I mean, to have to then do that and go to school board, you go to the meeting, they say yay or nay, but school board meetings are every 2 weeks. We ask for it on the 13th, we're not deciding till the 23rd. Those Scholastic, by the time we get them approved,
Half a year's gone. But the past practice is that teachers have gone in as grade level teams, so we might wanna put that in our,
it's all new, so we'll figure it out from how this
Oh.
one goes. If things need to be addressed, if there's PTA.
I don't think they're writing over
next year.
500 ones, because they know our pool of money
Yeah.
is, that'd be half the pool of money. And then, obviously there was housekeeping with the kindergarten assembly. And the other thing is, we're getting a lot of notes in our mailboxes, and they're really missing and really truly valuing and appreciating all the stapling that PTA had done for years, because now we're getting lots of flyers, but they're just coming every day, and they're like, oh, that. So kudos to all the past stapler packet people. They are
Reality
missed.
has set in, has it?
They are missed. So anyways, yeah, and they know, they totally understand why you guys can't feel back, because you don't have the manpower to staple. So they get
The
it.
manpower to stay full, talking about folding.
I know, we came and got board members. Yeah. That's all Underhill.
Okay.
And I was gonna speak to you, I'm gonna try to get like the student council, builders club and National Junior Honor Society and see if they can do like a competition and see which group can have the most people participate. And so I was gonna mention to that.
That's a great idea.
We're at middle school month right now, so it's a little crazy. Kids are really active in all the different activities. They had dodgeball tournament last week. This Friday, we're having a faculty basketball game. We got like, I think 11 faculty members to play. And everybody's like, okay, but I only want to play like 3 minutes. You know, do I have to play? Are you gonna take me out? So they're-
Yeah, so here Mr. Largy's got an arm on him.
Yeah, so then, this is foreign language week, so like this morning the Spanish teacher gave the Pledge of Allegiance and talked a little bit about Puerto Rico and things, which was nice. And then we have kids doing it as well, which is kind of great because of all different languages. And next week we're having a big pep rally, and that is crazy. If you ever want to come in and hear noise, you come in that night. I mean, I take my hearing aids right out because I just can't. It is so loud. It is crazy. And then for the first, they're gonna have a dance right after school from 2:30 to 5. They're trying that after the because the kids are like pep rally and they have that. And Manchester does their dances like that. And then this Wednesday, just didn't know if people knew about this, they're having, a presenter is coming in, it's called Choose Love, Ambassadors of the State of New Hampshire. She comes in and it's all about the Sandy Hook survivors, and the whole reason they're doing it is to help our emotional health, the community's emotional health in the school. So
Is
they
she
say it's
speaking
quite,
to the teachers or
teachers.
just the
Just
teachers?
Just the teachers.
Wednesday.
Should we tell, like, is it,
This
oh,
Wednesday.
not, we can't go SAU, I mean district-wide.
Yeah, it's till 4 o'clock, so we get to have.
Noon, what happens?
It's 2:30 to 4, faculty meetings usually. Yeah.
Matt and I discussed doing a parent info night on it which I think is interesting, they're choosing social emotional unit and they're gonna start at the middle school and unroll it. Right, like, you know, one school, we have 3 schools, that whole silo, go back to the silo issue. But if they really, you guys really rev up on it, we wanna try to do something for the parents so they're using the same language and they understand what they're trying to do in the building, because I think we all know what's going on. easier, right?
We had the suicide, did you have the suicide a couple weeks ago? That was very sad. I said, why is all this sad stuff?
Mandated.
That was mandated, yeah.
The show that's coming up April 3rd.
Oh, it's Edith Third.
And what is it this year?
High school musical.
Yeah, the second and third, Thursday and Friday. Usually starts at 7.
Things are really hard about this year.
It's always fun to like bring the kids
Oh, it's
to
so much
like.
Why don't we do a Saturday performance? That's always my question.
As a name.
We also have the big grant, the band
Yes, it wakes
festival.
us up.
Yes, that's Saturday.
That's Saturday. That's also.
There's a, yeah, large group band is Saturday at, what's that Goffstown last year? This year, I think it's at Litchfield. Campbell. Okay.
What day is that?
Do we have, we don't have any other teacher representatives here today. Do we have any new business to discuss? Any new business to discuss? No, any questions that I can answer? Any things that came up that were new, revelating, have any questions about now? Okay, I'm going to close this meeting at 8:17, not too bad.
Hope everybody goes out and votes tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I hope. I don't want. I want to grab that. Bradley. No, Stuart. Not that.
I love it, and I think it's getting me so much fun.
Oh, no.
Okay. The way I went about it last year. Unfortunately, I was so for sure.
Are you off this meeting?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I only know when I wrote it.
How to get, don't do stuff, or we need stuff, so how do I?
I did.
Google Doc or whatever that next step
Yeah,
is.
so it's reaching out to one of us and telling us